In this video, I'll show you how you can 2.5x the results of your cold email campaign and also 2.5x your revenue. This is something really impactful, but it's also a really small tweak. You won't have to write new scripts, you won't have to create a new offer, you won't have to make a landing page or VSL or scrape new leads, you won't have to get new domains. A lot of our private clients who we work with inside our consulting program come to us, maybe they have already been running cold email campaigns in the past. And they join and we start working together and they show us our campaigns. And just by changing this one small thing, they always book 2 or 3 times more calls from their campaigns. Implementing this one thing, making this one change, you will at least 2x the results of your cold email campaigns. Pretty much the stuff that I'm going to be talking about is how to convert outreach replies to booked calls. So when you send a cold email, you get a positive response. It sounds like an extremely simple thing, like duh, you book a call with them. Still everyone does this wrong. In this video, I'm going to show you how the numbers actually look like when running cold email campaigns, how to immediately start booking more calls from your cold email campaigns, exactly what to say, how to follow up. So next time when you get a positive response, you know exactly what to do. First, we have 3,000 emails sent. This number could be anything. This could be 5,000, 10,000, a million emails sent. It doesn't really matter. From your email campaign, you obviously have a specific amount of people replying. I would say that if you have good deliverability and you have good lead source, you're gonna get around a 70% open rate. A lot of people are also tweaking about the open rates. Like, yeah, my cold email open rate suddenly went to 40%, 30%, 50%. What am I doing wrong? Like, what subject line should I try out? The subject line doesn't really affect the open rate that much, unless it's like something horrible. But if you have something basic, quick question for a company, question for first name, you won't really have a big impact on the open rate of your email campaign. Really, the subject line is impacted by your lead quality, your deliverability, and also who you target. Right now, open tracking is pretty messed up. One of our consultants launched a test. He took a bunch of their own inboxes that they use for client campaigns, and then he sent an email campaign to those inboxes. And without anyone visiting the inboxes, the campaign showed an 86% open rate, even though 0 of the emails had been opened. Pretty much what that tells you is open rate is like pretty useless and you shouldn't even track open rate. If you have good leads and you have a good setup for deliverability and you have a basic subject line, you're gonna get a 60, 70%, 50% open rate. You send 3,000 emails and you get 2,100 people to open it, 70%. And let's say that from those people, you have like an average copy, you get a 5% reply rate, and that gives you 105 replies. And let's say that from these 105 replies, 30% of these replies are positive. You're gonna get around a 10 to 20% meeting book rate. You're gonna book 6 meetings from those 32 positive replies. Usually the big mistakes here are you're sending them a link to a 30-minute VSL, or you send them a sales letter, really big document, and you do something dumb. You don't have a good way to actually transition that positive reply into a call. So you end up getting like a 10, 20, maybe even a 30% meeting book rate. So you get 6 meetings, 4 of those meetings show up. That ends up being 0.8 deals at a 20% closing rate. And if you have a 10K lifetime value, let's say you sell a lead generation agency service and one client is worth $10,000, that's gonna mean that this campaign created you $8,000. At a larger scale, for example, if you had sent 30,000 emails, this would mean 8 deals. With a 20% meeting book rate, this means that you're making $2.6 per an email sent. You send 3,000 emails, you make $8,000 in lifetime revenue. If you go to another example, here pretty much all of the numbers are same. 3,000 emails sent, 70% open rate, 5% reply rate, 30% positive reply rate. But here, instead of a 20% meeting book rate, we have a 50% meeting book rate. So we book half of these positive replies into a meeting with us. And then with a 70% show up rate, you get 11 people to show up, you close 2 deals, and with the same lifetime value, you make $20,000 instead of 8, which means that you are making $6.6 per an email sent, which naturally is a 2.5x difference. The question in your mind is, okay, when I send a cold email and I get a positive reply, what should I do differently? Do not send a link to a long form VSL expecting the prospect to book a call with you. The reason why the VSL is there is for the prospects that are super sophisticated buyers and they need more information about you. You don't need to push it into everyone's face, even if it's cool. They will Google your name and they will Google your company name and they will naturally find the VSL and watch through it if that is necessary for them. Or you can send the VSL to them after they have booked a call. Hey, by the way, John, before our call, I recommend that you check out this quick video because that way we're able to use our time together better and you already know how we operate so you can ask more relevant questions. The second thing, really similar. Do not send a link to a long form marketing asset expecting the prospect to book a call with you. You might write a sales letter document that you use for a VSL. Do not send that either. You need to know the market really well. You need to know your offer really well. You need to know exactly the terms and language and you need to actually be a great copywriter copywriter for that to work. Third thing that I see a lot is sending calendar links. Do not send a calendar link. It just introduces more friction. The more the prospect has to do, the more they have to decide, the more they have to think, the more they have to click around, the less calls you're gonna always book. Do you know why Amazon has one-click buys? Because that's the least amount of friction there could be. And the last thing that a lot of people do is they send a long ass email describing everything in detail and selling pretty much your whole solution. Someone is like, yeah, it's really interesting. Could you please provide me more information about this? And you write this crazy email pretty much selling your whole solution. And your prospect sees it and they're like, I'm not reading that. There's no way. Once again, a lot of friction in that. And the last honorable mention here is discuss pricing. Do not discuss pricing over email. Not because the price is some kind of a secret, but because the prospect has no context in what they are actually getting. They don't, in most cases, understand your service or offer well enough to actually make a decision on the price. If you are in an extremely commoditized market where everyone is extremely aware of the products and solutions in the market, then it might be different. Like, hey, we sell paper and our paper is the cheapest. This is how much our paper costs. That can work. When you're selling agency services, for example, like you tell the prospect, hey, we do B2B lead generation. Like, okay, how much does it cost? And you're like, $3,000 a month. Like, what the fuck? That's too much. They have no clue what you're doing. So what I would usually do in price objections when someone gives you like a price over email, I would just tell them, hey bro, all of our proposals are custom made. I can give you a range, but it's gonna be super irrelevant. Then you can like, hey, let's just hop on a call. I'll actually look at your situation. We can discuss your goals and your desires and what you'd like to do and what would be a perfect partnership for you. And then based on that, I'll give you an accurate quote for the pricing. As long as you just don't do these things, you are going to book a lot more calls than the average person sending cold emails. So what is, in my opinion, the best way to transition positive replies into booked calls? There's two methods that I have seen work really well. Method one, and this is the more beginner-friendly approach to this, is after you get a positive reply, you give them 2 to 4 sentences of more information on main selling points, or you can give a case study example. Hey John, thanks for the quick reply. So in a nutshell, what we do is we help companies like you get result X, Y, and Z through method A, B, and C in this time frame, and we do it by, and then you give like the main 3, 4, 5 activity steps that you do when working with a client. For example, we help early stage B2B SaaS companies like yourself increase their MRR by an extra $30,000 in the first 6 months of working together. And pretty much how we do it is first, we just identify our target audience to find out what is the most profitable market to work with. Then based on your market audience and your offer and your service or product, we go and we write personalized cold email sequences. And then based on the audience we have identified, we go and we scrape a list of thousands of potential customers for your product that fit this profile. And then we just go and we write cold email sequences that we use to reach out to these potential customers and convert them into people who are interested about learning more about your service. And we just book them in their sales reps calendars. And then as a CTA, we just helped a similar company like yours who was in this situation, and we helped them achieve this result throughout these steps. I really think that we can help you. If you're interested in learning exactly how this would work for your company and get an accurate proposal, are you available on Thursday 2 p.m. EST or Friday 3 p.m. EST? Thanks, let me know. Every single positive response that you get, you do this. And then what you just do, you just follow up with every 2 days. Not all prospects reply immediately. Like personally, I am a fairly busy guy. I got a bunch of stuff to do. Sometimes people send me really good cold emails or really good cold DMs, and I actually look at them and I'm like, oh, this is actually interesting. This could really benefit us or benefit me. But then I give them an initial response and then I just get super busy with something for weeks. And if the person follows up with me, I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, I need to get back to this guy. And it might be the 3rd, 4th, or 5th, or 6th follow-up. So if you really talk to these big business owners, they are even busier and they are even more focused on other stuff. Follow up with them every 2 days. Hey, John, just making sure that you got this. Hey, John, saw an ad about this and thought about you. Just checking in if this is something that you're still interested in. Just keep following up with them until you get a yes or no. And the method 2, the more advanced way that I have seen work extremely well for companies reaching out to really big prospects or just being in really competitive markets, as a CTA, offering them something that normally would cost money at your competitors. So for example, if you run an UGC agency, you could provide them a free piece of UGC content for their social media. Or if you do Facebook ads, you could write them a new Facebook ad. Or if you do lead gen, you could write them a cold email campaign or scrape them a list of leads. Hey John, we will write you a free cold email campaign. We have booked X amount of meetings and worked with X amount of clients and generate X amount of revenue. I just want to write you a free cold email campaign and scrape you 1,000 leads from your ICP so you can try this on your own and get good results and give it to your SDR. And the only thing thing I really need from you is to hop on a call so I can learn more about your market, learn more about your offer, and then I'll write everything for you in 3 days and send it over. I guarantee there's no pitching, no selling on the call. It's literally for me to just help you out. And then hopefully in the future we can work together. You actually are incentivizing them to book a call. Hardest thing when prospecting is just to get someone to trust you and see you're competent and just hop on a call with you. Then when they hop on a call with you, you don't start pitching them immediately. You just literally help them out for free. Figure out what their niche is, figure out what everything is, figure out what they're selling, write them a banger cold email campaign, give it to them in a Google Doc, show them how to send it out if they need the help, scrape them 1,000 leads. If you do it really well, people are naturally gonna ask, hey, by the way, do you offer this as a service? Hey, could you help us out a bit on this? Take something that would normally be paid and provide it for free and don't pitch them. Just let them come to you. That way also the frame is way stronger on the call because they're coming you to buy and you are not selling them anything. You probably have heard the saying, everyone loves to buy but no one likes to be sold to. That way you flip the frame completely and the sales that you're gonna be getting are amazing. The only downside of that is it takes a lot of time. The sales cycle might be a bit longer, but it is way easier to sign really big clients in really competitive markets using this method than doing anything else. If you already are making 10, 20, 30,000 a month, 50,000 a month, and you're not in a huge rush, this is a really, really great way for you to sign really big clients for really big prices because that way they already trust you. Make sure that you put these things into use. And if you enjoyed the video, drop me a like and also subscribe to the channel so I hit 10K. Amazing. Thank you so much. Take care. See you. Bye.